Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. What's on your to-do list? Right now, when I'm recording this, it's Tuesday, so I know that taking out the trash and washing the towels is on my list for today. And you might have additional things. uh, Getting the kids to their sports activities. There might be something that you have to do for work, an extra project that's going to take more time. The significant other may have asked you to do something like right now, Drew is walking around our house spraying the outside for spiders to make sure that they don't get in the house. So a to-do list is actually a game we play with ourselves to give ourselves victory or victories every single day. This is the reason why you can write something on your list that you've already done just so you can cross it off. And there's nothing wrong with that. Where the challenge comes in at is when there are more battles that have yet to be fought on that to-do list that you just can't get to. And it becomes absolutely overwhelming. And so there's a lot less scratched off and a lot more that gets added on. And why is that? That's because there's another game being played with this list that you may not even realize. And that other game is pursuit of the meaningful you, the game of your potential realized. This is what we're talking about today. How to take your to-do list into a ta-da list of what's phenomenal about you. See, your ta-da list should really be producing habits that are consistent with the person that you've chosen you want to become. Maybe you want to be healthier. Maybe you want to have more friends. Maybe you want to have more prosperity. Well, your to-do list should be actually calling out what's known as personality attributes. And that's a fancy word that says that you're congruent. Your actions are congruent with who you've chosen you want to be, who you want to mature into. This is what's meaningful. This is potential realized. But to do that, there needs to be focus and feeling before action. And so I'm going to give you the 9 things, the 9 personality attributes. Some people call them the gifts of the Spirit. And the Spirit is the highest you manifested. It's heaven on earth. So I'm going to give you the 9 things that you can begin looking at your list and going, is this helping me develop this attribute in my life? Because if it's not, maybe you need to be pruning that list and saying, I either, number 1, no longer need to engage in this, or number 2, need to find someone else to do this for me. So let's go over those 9 personality attributes. And as I'm doing so, there's going to be 1 to 2 of them that are calling out right now, that are saying that this is the habits you want to develop that are going to allow you to upgrade into the identity that is harmonious with the dreams that you have. The first one is love. Now, this type of love seeks the highest good for everybody involved, but you have to do that through choice, not chance. And when you do it by choice, you need to use your willpower. Well, there's something known as decision exhaustion. It is a time of day when you just no longer have willpower left. It's a fixed resource and you've used it all up. Well, if you know that there is a time of day, I was talking to two of my private clients in a group yesterday, and one of them said I hit it about 3, and the other one said I hit it about 7. If you know you've run out of willpower, then do not look to engage in habits of love where the highest good for all is going to be needed because you're not going to have any energy left to do it. If you need to engage in some sort of action with that, do it earlier in the day where you have the energy available to make those choices. Okay, number 2, joy. Joy is different from happiness. Happiness comes from solving problems. And the more complex the problem, the happier you are. It doesn't mean the happiness lasts longer. It just means that it can be more intense for a period of time. And typically anywhere between 3 days and 3 weeks, our happiness fades. This is the reason why you can get the new car, and after 3 weeks, you're completely habituated to it, and it is no longer bringing about those feelings of, oh, I solved the problem on what to buy. Joy, on the other hand, we are genetically wired for. You can still be joyful in riding in your car because joy seeks power of who you really are. When you look around and you're like, wow, look at how phenomenal my life is, and you begin to recognize that, that will be your source of power, joy. And by the way, the more joyful you are, the stronger you are physically. Now, that doesn't mean that every buff body that you see is somebody who's very joyful. No, you can see somebody older at the gym working out and go, wow, 70s, 80s, maybe even 90s. Look at them go. They've discovered their source of joy. So begin to recognize how wonderful the world is because spirit moves through you to make it a better place. All right, 3, or the third one, peace. This is not the type of peace that the world gives you. This is the peace from your higher power that says nothing is missing, nothing is broken. You are not flawed. You do not need to be fixed. You need to focus on what's phenomenal about you and look at bringing more of that to the world. So, does your to-do list focus on your attributes? Remember, I said earlier, if there's something that is not producing this type of fruit, these types of attributes, then maybe it's not something you should be doing, and you either need to prune it or you need to give it to someone else because that is in their talent of growing. Okay, patience. Patience means endurance. Yes, there are some goals you're going to have that it's going to take a while for you to get them. But patience also means restraint, as in somebody's done you wrong and you could get even with them, but you choose not to. Doesn't mean you're a doormat, does not mean that you do not have boundaries and there are not consequences for those boundaries. But you're not going after someone to punish them. You're patient and says, okay, I just need to explain how there are going to be results of their actions and what is it that we can do to move forward if we're going to move forward together. Kindness, to act without expecting anything in return. I do these podcasts for you 5 to 6 days a week. Some of you decide that yes, you want to move forward with me and how I can assist you. But there's a large number of you that won't ever work with me. And it is me producing the fruit of kindness to say, I'm going to keep showing up in your world. I'm going to keep letting you know you are more than what you've ever experienced. You have so much magnificence waiting to be realized. But in order to do that, you need what's known as revelation knowledge. And that's what I'm bringing to you, is that your to-do list is to reveal who you really are. By the way, if you do choose that you want to move forward with me, I'm going to give you two options, and then we're going to go on with the rest of the list. Option number one, participate in one of my focus groups that I have going on. You and maybe a couple of other of my previous clients who are going to share with me what you most want to experience for a high quality life and the different programs and services that I can develop. And then in exchange for that, I will gift you a ticket to my upcoming workshop, Maximum Mindset for Health, Wealth, and Happiness, where I teach you the same process I use with my private clients. Now, if you don't want to participate in the focus group and get that free ticket, that's okay. Go to drewdonferguson.com/2021 and see how you can get invest in your ticket. By the way, you want to do the focus group, you want to see what dates I have available on that, send me an email, dawn@drewdonferguson.com. Okay, let's move on with our list. Goodness. Is your to-do list producing goodness, which is you having the ability to see the best part of anything? Wow. So, I had an emergency root canal last week and it went great, but 2 days later I had another tooth fire off. And I felt like my higher power is telling me, just stand and stand in hope. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? What are some of the things that you've been hoping for? I've been hoping to get back together with my family, which, great. All my kids and my grandkids are now going to be coming over this month for dinner, and we're going to go back to a monthly get together. I've been standing in hope for doing more things with my friends. And so whenever the pain of this tooth would show up, I was able to tell it, you know what? You're a lie. You don't belong to me. My higher power says I'm already healed. I'm already whole, and that I am supposed to be looking forward to the things that I have hope in, not wasting my precious resources on you. Pain, you're already done. And in doing so, now I do not recommend this for everybody. This is what my higher power told me to do. You got to check in with your own. But in doing so, at this point, the tooth is rectifying itself. So goodness, the best part of anything is taking this pain and giving it a purpose for progress in my life. That when it would fire off, it would be like, no, I'm using you as a trigger and an anchor to start becoming aware of what I've been hoping for and start taking actions on making it happen right now. Okay. Faithfulness. How trustworthy are you? And not just for other people. I used to have someone in my life that was late to everything. We just knew that we could not trust her to show up on time. And I'm not saying everybody has to be perfect, but if they don't honor themselves with time, they'll attract what they are, not what they want. And it's like, okay, are they giving me the message that I'm not trustworthy with my own time? And that's when I had to look at patience Is this something that I need to continue to stick with on them? Or was there restraint that was needed where I would say, okay, if you can't be here on time, we're just going to start without you and you'll just have to catch up. So, trustworthy. Can you count on yourself? Or are you looking at different people in your life that you cannot trust? And are they pointing out that there's an area where you need to have boundaries? Uh, Gentleness. Gentleness means being unpretentious. Think the opposite of pride. Now, when I was working with my private clients yesterday in the group, one of them said, she's a very well-known speaker, and she said, well, when I'm at somebody's event and I have someone of prominence and influence introduce me as one of the speakers, I have a lot of pride. Look at me. Look at what I've been able to accomplish. Isn't that what I want in front of an audience? And I'm like, no, because pride always comes before a fall. Think of a pedestal. And when we put ourselves on that pedestal or we put someone else on that pedestal, there's going to be a problem because at some point we're going to do something wrong or the other person is, and now we fall off that pedestal and it is a long way down. The only thing that belongs on the pedestal is the process, because when processes fall, then we just go, okay, well, there's something that needs to be upgraded on that process. There's something in it that's incomplete, but no one gets hurt as if they were to fall. So processes go on pedestals, and when they don't work, that simply means that they're incomplete, or maybe they're not a right fit for you. So I told my client, no, really what's supposed to go on that pedestal is whatever you're going to be presenting on, that process. You want to transfer it to your audience and you want to empower them, just like I'm doing what's known as transfer of authority and transfer of power to you right now. I am giving you this process. And so you can look and see what pieces might work for you. And then it's going to elevate you. But don't ever put me up on top of anything because no, I will disappoint you at some point, and I don't want to land on top of you whenever I fall. Okay? I want you to be empowered. It is not about me. It is about you revealing your brilliance. And the last one, self-control. Having mastery over yourself. And if you could look at that self-control, that almost encompasses everything above it, doesn't it? That everything that we just talked about. So look at your dreams. Look at those magnificent goals that you have. Most people want to know about the how. How do I get there? No, that's not the first question you ask. The first question you ask is, who do you need to be to turn that dream into your reality? So who do you need to be? And then the how is looking at your to-do list and say, is it producing one or two of these attributes, one or two of these habits? Because these habits are what are congruent. These habits are what are harmonious with turning my dream into reality. Okay. Until you can develop the belief in yourself with these, borrow my belief in your brilliance, because you truly are magnificent.